The wind howled across the desert as the sun sank behind the jagged cliffs, painting the sky with fire. A dark figure lay half buried in the dust, her body broken, her legs gone. To her people, she was already dead. But her eyes still burned with the spirit of a warrior. Nayeli had been the fiercest woman in her Apache tribe, known for her courage and skill with the bow. She rode horses as if born in the saddle and could track an enemy through the harshest terrain. But one raid had changed everything. Ambushed by rival settlers near the river, an explosion had torn her legs away. She remembered the screams, the chaos, the sudden silence. When she awoke, she was in agony, staring at the bloodied stumps where her strength had once been. Her tribe, fearing weakness and believing she would not survive, left her beneath the red cliffs with only a water skin. "May the spirits guide you," the chief had said before turning away. It was not cruelty, it was their way. A warrior unable to ride, unable to fight, was no longer a warrior. For 3 days, Nayeli clung to life. Buzzards circled overhead. The desert heat blistered her skin by day, and the cold gnawed her bones by night. She cursed her tribe for abandoning her, cursed herself for not dying in battle, and prayed for the strength to endure. It was on the 4th day that a shadow fell across her. A cowboy, weathered by sun and solitude, reined in his horse. His name was Caleb Turner, a drifter with no home but the open land. He dismounted slowly, eyeing her with caution, unsure if she was friend or foe. But when he saw the raw determination in her eyes, something in him stirred. "You're still alive," he muttered, almost in disbelief. "Alive," Nayeli rasped, her lips cracked. But not for long. Caleb gave her water, then lifted her carefully onto his horse. She resisted at first, too proud to be carried, too broken to accept help, but her body betrayed her. He rode with her through the desert until they reached his lonely cabin near the foothills. The days that followed tested them both. Nayeli raged against her helplessness. She had once been feared and respected, now she could not even walk. Caleb built her a bed, tended her wounds, and carved makeshift crutches from cedar wood. But every kindness was met with her silence, or worse, with anger. "You should have left me there," she spat once, when he tried to teach her how to balance on the crutches. Caleb didn't answer right away. He simply set the crutch against the wall and looked at her. "You don't understand," he said finally. "I've been left behind too. Folks turned their backs on me after the war. You ain't the only one who's lost." For the first time, Nayeli's fire softened. She saw not pity in his eyes, but recognition. Their bond grew slowly, built on shared hardship. Caleb taught her how to steady her aim from the ground, how to fire a rifle with deadly precision even while sitting. He reshaped the cabin to make it easier for her to move about. In return, Nayeli shared her knowledge of the land, how to read the stars, how to find water where none seemed to exist, how to track animals across stone. But their peace did not last. One night, raiders came, men who had followed Caleb, hoping to steal his horse and supplies. They did not expect resistance. But from the cabin window, Nayeli struck first, her rifle cracking in the night. Her aim was true, her spirit unbroken. Caleb fought beside her, and together they drove the men away. When the smoke cleared, Caleb turned to her, breathless. "You're not broken, Nayeli. You're stronger than anyone I've ever known." For the first time since her injury, she allowed herself to believe it. In time, Nayeli learned to live not as the warrior she once was, but as something new, a teacher, a protector, a woman who could still fight in her own way. Though her tribe had abandoned her, she found a new family in the bond she shared with Caleb. And together, they forged a life in the wild, where neither past wounds nor old traditions could chain them. Nayeli would never ride into battle again. But her spirit had not been buried in the desert that day. It had risen, scarred, reshaped, but unbroken. The story of the Apache warrior woman and the lone cowboy spread quietly through the land, whispered among those who knew them. And when people spoke her name, they did not remember the woman who had lost her legs. They remembered the woman who had survived.